here's the agenda. I didn't make copies for everybody, but, okay, we are being videoed. This is calling the open space meeting to order at 6:35 on June 13th, 2018. And probably no one can hear us because the mics are here and there, whatever. So, okay, we'll flip past the second one with the trails, but I don't know do you know about the trails thing with Becky Gallagher and how she wants us to see if we can talk to the Zito people who own this piece of property, and it would give her and her gang access. Here's the SNET. This is upside down. This is the property she would like access to access all the school lands, you know, and ride horses around in there. This is the property, but I noticed that they also have a house on an abutting piece of property on a long drive off Monroe Street. So I don't know if that's something that we typically do, or is it something that you haven't been here at a meeting when we've discussed it with her, and but is that our area, or is that something for her to confront this person who has land and, you know, a house on it? Maybe he's
I think that's a
viable request for her.
Yeah.
Of us.
No, I mean, I think it's something she should approach them, because if they're riding horses through that property, it's different than if it's just a trail for us to walk on.
Right. It's not for us to walk on. It's not for us to have it's for us to have access to open space that is school, but at the same time we have access off of Martin Road and the school property up there, you know. And Bill Cundiff was at one of the meetings, and he said, you know, well, I mean, you know, there's horse droppings and things to consider, and she's like, we're very considerate, and we do.
No, they
take care
are.
of that stuff. Yep. But
has she approached them at all?
right, I don't know, you know, I think she just might have just seen that this property was that property, and that she never really looked to see or even noticed that they had a property abutting it with the driveway access and looks like a house or something on it. So with it, you know, I have their phone number, you know, I don't have their phone number, but they live at, you know, on Maple Street. No, the land is at 95 Monroe Street. So
It's a private landowner and to access the schools, but I think she's the one that should make the approach.
Yeah, I didn't
of
realize until recently that there was actually someone living on the land and stuff like that. I thought it was absentee, and, you know, maybe in that situation, but
sounds like this.
yeah.
You've done more research, so.
Yeah, and she hasn't gotten back to me on a couple things, so, you know, when I tell her I'm doing something, so I'll drop it on her lap. But, okay, so this, we'll move to the Chase Chapter 61 property. Did you see it online or whatever?
Yeah.
Basically, I think the last couple of pages really spell it out that this is
Lots of blanks in this.
I don't understand this letter that I got March 20th. I guess that's the last piece that they said, okay, to 4 acres, the Board of Selectmen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe they've said no to this as well, but this is only 2.2 acres, so it's a different amount.
Right, this is a second parcel, right?
Right, so that's
Oh, okay.
March.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
No, because we already made a recommendation on the previous parcel.
Oh, that was the one I missed, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that was, see, this is Orange Street. They've got like 80 acres on this side, he owns 80 acres on this side, and it has a house over here. But, so, this has been sold already. This is the one that we did the last time. And then the next one is on the other side, down here, probably this piece, 67 acres. And it's got, but, so, anyway, it's this.
It's not,
Yeah, that's like totally.
this is the first one. I mean, the
Yeah.
one we did last time,
Yeah, I
right?
know. How's that going on?
Hmm.
Okay, that's because this is it.
Oh.
I opened up the wrong one.
There you go.
All right. This is it, and it's at the end. Yep, so this is basically it. It's this little piece that they're taking out of 61A. And the people that are buying it are gonna keep everything at 61A.
Oh,
But they want to buy this parcel, which, do you know the Windolowskis?
Gina.
well, I've been there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's where this is their house. This is their land. So it's on the east side of Orange Street. This will be retained by Chase, which is the one with the house
Okay,
on it.
yeah.
So 67 from each, so they're keeping 21 over here. It's basically surrounded by Taitopa Farm, which, Tom Schwartz owns most of the land around there, and they're actually putting in a little roadway here
Hmm.
at the very beginning of the road, so. But this is the land in question that we're talking about tonight, is the 2.2 acres that they want to take out of 61A.
And so they're leaving the
that's-
rest in 61A
Right.
because they're not going to change the use.
So this is different than any of the ones that we've ever done, because they're gonna, so we're just voting on this, I would assume, rather than the whole thing,
Right, because they're not changing the use for the
Right.
rest of it.
right? Even though it's changing hands and getting sold. But, yeah,
I believe they can, I thought it was mainly a relative, but if it isn't changing use, I think it's
right.
allowed.
And there's, even if it were something that we were looking at, there's enough other land surrounding there that if we wanted to target and get from, Taitopa Farm or whatever, and approach them and get land for the town, then there's plenty of it right there. This
Right,
is
but in the
not
broader perspective, you also need to look at access.
frontage, yeah,
Yeah. So,
right.
but in this case, it looks like a single
This is all wet.
home, and the rest is going to remain in Chapter
First farm.
61, so I don't see any
Right.
open space opportunities there.
So down the line, if they sell it, we'll have another chance at it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Or they could just let it go out of 61, and then
that's true as
they're
well.
on their own, yeah.
Right.
So then we wouldn't have a shot at it, but, it's not, to me, I don't see it as something that the town would be willing to buy,
No.
so.
All right, I move that we recommend to the Board of Selectmen that the right of first refusal not be pursued.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we will follow through with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sounds good, they'll be glad to hear it, for sure.
Yeah.
I can keep
That was
those two
easy.
separate.
Part
Yeah.
easier than trying to schedule the meeting.
Yeah. And actually have the meeting. But I spend a lot of time on the agenda.
I can see that.
Yes, but actually, that's not the agenda. That's the last agenda. At least I have a colored sheet for our emergency needs.
It's very important.
Mhm. So, you're probably gonna head out. Would you like to have another meeting at any time, or for the future,
Well, I think it's hard to get people together over the summer, so
Right.
maybe,
September?
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless the Chases take another piece of property out, or
Or somebody else does, I mean,
Yeah, no.
there's still a lot of Chapter 61
Yeah,
property,
All right,
other projects.
we have 15 minutes to get to Burrowville.
Do you need a motion to adjourn, or?
No, we're gonna wait, should we wait
Do you wanna
till
wait
Katie
till-
Grace?
Oh, okay.
Just for,
Why
just
not?
Project?
we can talk about projects. Damn.
All right.
Longest meeting ever, yeah.
Yeah, really, thank you.
All right.
See you
Good luck.
later.
See
Yeah,
ya.
good luck on that thing. Yeah, tell them we need one in Douglas now.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Is that a reality? Yeah. We could adjourn if we would like to, but, yeah, so one side, I don't know. It's a nice piece of property that he has down there, and he's not wanted anybody else to intervene. People, we've contacted him in the past and
Yeah.
said, we have this nice piece of property, what do you want to do with it? He's like, nothing, thanks, leave me alone, kind of thing. What's his name? Paul Chase.
Oh, Chase. So who is the guy who owns the land around, you were saying?
That's Tom Schwartz, who his wife was at the cleanup with us, Pam,
Oh, okay. I knew it sounded familiar.
ex-wife, yeah.
Okay.
And so she said he was thinking
Uh-oh.
about doing a,
At least you didn't get too far.
yeah, she said he was thinking about a solar farm there. There's a lot of wet things. He's had a million ideas.
Yeah. Where did I just see a
He
solar
lives in
farm?
Texas.
I was just driving somewhere. Like I went a back way I don't usually go. It might have been Sutton though. That was in Sutton. But yeah, they're
Big,
popping up everywhere.
Huge one, yeah.
Yeah, where was that? But yeah, it was like horses, horse farm, like solar. I think it was in Sutton.
No, it's got rocks in the field. Why not?
It's not the worst use for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So what do you think about the Becky thing? You've been here for those
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah.
It's really not. I mean, people just can't come to us and ask us to work on
Right.
trails for them.
Especially like you said, if someone's
Using-
living there. Sometimes, yeah, it's just adjacent property.
Maybe
That makes
they're into
sense.
it, you know?
Yeah.
So just call them and start there rather
Yeah.
than going through committees and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, the legalities, getting town council involved on,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, just ask permission and
yeah,
it seems like at least the best first step.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, and probably Katie Grace has the last meeting minutes, which we could do in September. And I spent $77 on the cleanup expenses, but I think I'll just call it a wash rather than do all the bookkeeping stuff. So, but
It seemed like that went well though.
yeah, I was very happy. yeah.
Nobody got down to my end of West Street though. I was sad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do
yeah, yeah. And I ended up, I mean, because we should have left the car one car.
that. Yeah.
I walked past all this trash, and I'm like, oh, yeah, and then like 90 miles an hour trying to catch up to the other two. So, yeah, but I don't know, I almost think next year it would be good just to, like, the school was involved, and
Yeah.
it's like they need the credit, they had a good time, so I guess I didn't go over there, I was just still sorting in my front yard. I had like 2 bags, was I forget, one whole bag of nips anyway, just a huge trash bag of nips from like, only from like the ones that I realized the guy left later
Mhm.
up by the water tower.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, forgot about him. I went over there, separated them in my front yard, and took them to the dump like Tuesday or whatever. But there was a whole bag of just nips, and you had to separate the tops from the bottoms. So yeah, we did good. I was going to do a write-up in the paper, and then I thought I did enough. Why do I need to write it in the paper? So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll maybe do next year, do the school, contact school.
Yeah.
would,
Do
you know,
have-
we
you
get
have
$100.
Who was asking me? Somebody was asking for contacts for the school. Is there somebody that you talked to up there about?
Guidance. Well,
Just
they'll guide you, you know, you just call up and say, this is what you want, and they'll tell you who you need to talk to.
Oh, I think it was somebody on Friends of the Library. I was
Yeah.
thinking. When we do the book sales, it's a ton of work to get the books from the basement up those little stairs,
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
front
yeah.
stairs, and then
At least
back
there's
up.
not pockmarks in the front stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were looking for volunteer hours of people to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's it's guidance,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which used to be someone that had it especially, but then she was a librarian. Then she retired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those librarians will take on
I
anything.
know.
All right, should we just say hi to Katie Grace? I'm sure she's fine with doing the minutes next
Yeah.
time. Okay, at the end,
Sounds
I'm
good.
gonna make a motion to adjourn. Would you like to second it?
Second?
I guess we really need two here, but.
I know, can we even do that
Oh,
with only
favor?
two? Hi.
We're done. Blah, blah, blah.